Hello, it's time for more MIDI controller talk. This time we're talking about MIDI controllers with Keytars. Yay! So, a user wanted to use one of my controllers, one of the single stick ones, because it's relatively small and they could mount it on their Keytar to do some pitch bending and some control changing and all that fun stuff. Now, from a usual standpoint, doing like pitch bend and modulation is straightforward, and it's what I've offered in the past, where one direction does pitch and one does mod. This time, the user wanted to do something a little special and something I hadn't tried before, but is now working. So imagine the circle, the sphere, and then you've got the x-axis here, and then the y-axis here, right? So the user requested, can I do pitch bend along the x-axis, the complete x-axis? And that's straightforward. Keep in mind that pitch bend is not a regular control change. It is a value that goes from 0 to 1023 in MIDI. So it is not set the same way that your control changes are. Now, in most situations, the limit to limit on my Y, I have it 0 to 127 for a CC. In this case, my user asked if I could do this. If I could do the CC for modulation on one part of the axis, and then the CC for a filter on another. In this case, the modulation is a control change, and it happens to be control change decimal 1. And in this case, the filter that he wished to use was on 74. So in this case, center to limit up wanted CC mod cent, center to down he wanted 74 CC cent. So this one potentiometer in the joystick has to do something different when it goes this way versus this way. So that is how I coded it. I did some magical work, and for the two CCs, center is 0, and so for here it goes from 0 to 127 in this direction, and then 0 and 127 in this direction. So going this way, 0 to 127, the limit, and it will send that value on control change 1. When you're going south, it'll go 0 to 127, sending it over 74. And then the pitch bend will act as normal. Now, the one thing I had to add in here also was a little bit of a dead zone that sits at these areas so that pitch doesn't necessarily start knocking into the control changes, and vice versa. So, though they still will. So you can do a modulation and a pitch bend, if you're up in this upper quadrant. If you're in the lower half of the hemisphere, you're sending pitch bend and the filter, various filters. And this is a centering stick, because most of the time on the pitch bend, we have center. So center is just no changes, and then you have low values and high values. So if you are looking for a situation where you need to split the stick so that certain coordinates go on one control change and certain on another, that is possible. I proved it out, and it's working okay. So there we go. Thanks for watching.